UFOs, unidentified flying objects, or unearthed foreign objects. What are UFOs? Who is flying them? Where do they come from? And why don't they land or make official contact? This is a part one video. Part one will hopefully be released next Wednesday. Numerous sightings have been acknowledged pertaining to UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenons. That's UAP. This has been documented throughout our historical record. Why? Well, if you're familiar with the old world and the technological advancements of that time period, many things begin to fall into place. Cigar-shaped UFOs. Now, this is the Salt Hill UFO of 1986. This is a reconstruction of a Zeppelin-shaped UFO seen over Galway Bay in Ireland between the 22nd of February and March 1st, 1986. This is important because of the very vast amount of these cigar-shaped Zeppelin-type UFOs that are seen throughout our realm. Many of these cigar-shaped objects have been photographed and witnessed. Now, do they come from outer space, millions of miles away, or just from land masses that have not been discovered or hidden that are just over the ice wall? Very interesting when you actually put all the evidence together, all the numerous pictures, and look into this. Now, in this picture, there's some, NASA cartoons over there, but the bottom picture with the spheres around it, it's like a tube that contains spheres. Now, this is important because of the well documented UFO case over Germany, which was Prussia in 1561. So Germany sees all these UFOs, this massive celestial event. You can type in 1561 celestial event, 1561 UFO encounter, and there's much that has been documented and written about this event. But you can see these tube type UFOs with spheres coming out of them. Same as like this. You could see spheres, which that's kind of interesting. And this can also connect to how Germany is always so technically advanced for these world wars. Is there was numerous crash sites, there was numerous technology that was deposited over Germany, and they sealed it off and hid it from the people to back engineer it to then gain advancement over their neighbors, their maybe just to sell it, maybe to just expand the knowledge of people. But this was widespread, and we also know that many of these people you can see in the bottom of this picture, these people were giant type beings. They were 17 foot tall, they were massive. So, how big were these UFOs that they saw? Here's another artist rendering of, and now they say Nuremberg, Germany, but I almost remember it was Brandenburg, Germany. I'll have to look that up, but it's a widely known event that all these extraterrestrials and there was this massive sky event going on in Germany in 1561. Then you can say, how would that technology have been back engineered and re-engineered? And we can imagine what could possibly be possible with. Now they say there's, stuff on the moon, but the moon could be a hoax. I'm not going to get into that right now. But they could be on the other side of the ice wall in a wiped out city that was completely bombed, and that's where they live and their settlements or colonies are located. So here you start seeing Zeppelin type craft, where if you had this technology in the 1800s, and you advance this technology 150 years, where would you be? Where would you be getting with these crafts, these flying objects, these UFOs, if you will? They would be highly advanced. They would be, you could build them almost as big as you wanted. They would all have a type of anti-gravity. And these, what people aren't understanding is most of these Zeppelin type crafts are not balloons filled with gas. They tell you that because the way they achieve anti-gravity is very simple and they don't want people getting this type of technology. But basically, it's an aluminum frame that is they add an electric current to this aluminum with copper wiring and stuff, and that causes a lifting effect. That's how these crafts are powered, and that's how they rise and lower. By adding more electricity, they rise, less electricity, they fall. And that is also well documented. So then they would move forward to more steady type anti gravity, which would be a small unit that would create an electrical charge, which would give an anti gravity effect, and they would put these in multiple places to basically, if you had more of this anti gravity, you could go deep into the oceans and stuff because the magnetic field would keep the water out, and you wouldn't experience any pressure or g forces or anything like that when traveling. Here's some more pictures. I don't know if this is the sun, but multiple crafts are always seen. And then once again, you can't really count on anything taken of pictures of deep space and satellite footage because it's all a deception. But crafts could be coming and exiting from the sun or outer realms using the sun as some type of a gateway. We don't know for sure. More documented cases of these cylindrical cigar shaped type objects that are often witnessed. This could also explain lights in the sky as these craft, activating different parts of their ships or different anti gravity drives or clearance lights or whatever it may be. But these objects are widespread. The governments of the world know about them, and it would lead people to believe that if they know about them, they know about the other land. Of course they do. They know all about the hidden lands, and it's probable that they are communicating and shipping resources to these extra-terran lands or ETs or planes, planets, planes on ET land, planes ET, extra-terran land on hidden planes on the flat realm that we live in. Here's some more pictures. It's basically like one of these Zeppelin ships that has been back engineered, or maybe they just continued to make more modernized versions of it. And then they could put some kind of material around it to make it totally cloaked where you couldn't see it. And then only when some kind of a cloaking effect failed, or back in the 60s before they had radar to identify them, they then figured out a new way to hide themselves. Pretty interesting when we examine this proof, look into this further, and understand that these things are not coming from outer space. I mean, they could be, but outer space is not what people think it is. Nothing is what people think it is. And if they have told you it, it is most likely fabricated lies to keep you controlled. Here's another well known sighting from a submarine out in the middle of the ocean. And one of these objects they encountered and fired upon and sunk it into the ocean. And it sunk and they recover it and back engineer it. Now, then you can see these giant Zeppelin type ships. If you would advance this Zeppelin technology, you would end up getting these cigar shaped UFO type craft, which with free energy, this is the other thing people aren't getting. It's an electromagnetism type of levitation they use, where once you generate free energy, you can power these things indefinitely and they would run forever, float them around wherever they would need to go. They got rid of those, and now we are reliant on oil and gas for our transportation. but very interesting when you start to see the world in a different way. And all these things lead to different clues. So you can see how this object totally could have turned into this object very simply. And these Zeppelin type air machines were widespread throughout the old world. So it makes you think that when the old world was emptied out, they just flew to another landmass that was hidden from the controllers or just from the people of our time, and they continued their civilization. So where do they come from? Outer space or outer space? Do they come from the vastness of an endless space or on a flat earth realm where it could also be endless, or just you would never understand how big the actual plane of earth is? We don't know, but we can see that this is the standard kind of flat earth map. And when you expand back, there are tons of land masses and continents that have been hidden. And then when you step back a step further, there's even more land masses. And it most likely just keeps going and going and going forever. We don't know. But what we do know is everything they say is a lie, and it's been a lie. Here's a wide shot of a balloon, supposedly of our realm, and the ice wall and everything that we see on a flat Earth map. This could be a model, but the idea of it is what's important. Now, there's a few other hidden things in this photo. I'm not going to get into that, but if you follow my research on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about with certain objects that have been hidden. And it should also make people think what is going on with these space programs. Is it just hidden space? Is it outer space? Is it inner space? Is it extra dimensional space? We don't know. Space is basically a term that's been misused. I have found that space, when you're understanding particles and light, space is the separation of particles around conscious energy. Where you're seeing things, it's like a hologram we're all living in, and the space is the distance between the light particles that we perceive and bring into being with our consciousness. Another video for another day. But here's another shot of, it looks like in the far distance there's like a water or the edge of another crater, and then you can see like our central crater and walls followed by more ice walls. And it's most likely was like a bombed out thing. Like there was this Titan war of these Titan sized mountain range type giants, and all these bombs went off, and then slowly throughout thousands of years. I mean, who knows when God reimagined man and repopulated the earth in his image and stuff in the garden. We don't know. But we do know that the more research we do, the more we seem to find. Now, here's an ancient map or a far back map in our time period, and you can see many hidden lands surrounding our land. And then there was some type of event that caused a widespread few years without a sun or sunlight. This could have been through some kind of a nuclear holocaust or ashes from the burning of the cities in the atmosphere, which caused everything to freeze, and that caused the outer realm of these land masses to be frozen. But under them, there could be buildings, civilizations, people. The people of these hidden lands could have went underground. We know that we have deep underground base facilities. They could have the same thing. There's a hollow earth aspect to all this. We don't know. What we do know is that we are questioning everything. We are examining the evidence very closely and creating new theories that fit the reality that we are in. Is it space? We don't know. Anything is really possible. But the most likely thing is what they've told us is not possible and is not real. So anything connected to the official stories they tell us is not real. It's most likely a flat realm, and they do not want you to take a balloon or one of these airships, fly over the ice wall, and move out. Because imagine if all of us smart, flat earth people who are examining these things just left. It would be devastation for all the rest of the people. So then you have inner space, you have the outer space on the other side of our ice wall. Most likely that's what's going on. That's what all the ancients said. That's what all the ancient maps say. And that's what we have to understand. There's some more photos of objects that have been taken and recovered. Lots of these types of objects are seen, and when these objects fly over, there is a time displacement event that takes place. So it's very interesting when you understand the missing people out in the forest, the missing 411 phenomenon, and how there's always a loss of time and consciousness when these crafts fly over. You wouldn't even see them fly over because they're cloaked, but you would enter some kind of a time well or a time displacement, and you'd be lost through time, and then they would recover your bones later. We don't know. Also a theory. But many of these ships are known to cloak and hide in clouds or to disguise themselves as clouds. Very interesting. I'm going to make a part two. I have lots more pictures. I'm just trying to get these videos down to a shorter time span or length, I guess. But here's a floating craft inside Dreamland or Area 51 and the Dulce facility. There's lots of pictures, lots of evidence, lots of documentation of these type of craft. And I mean, in the future, if you could make one of these crafts, why would you buy a house? If you could buy one of these UFOs, it's the same size as a house. You would just live in that all the time. Pretty interesting. Many of these unidentified objects may connect to the old world and may also be back engineered from the the pre-reset time period. This could also be evidence that there is hidden land and civilizations beyond our realm. Many of these crafts were dug out of pyramids or whatever you want to think, and they want to tell you they're thousands of years old, millions of years old. But when you know about the mud flood, that makes it possible that it's not as old as they're telling you, because this mud flood was widespread and they find these objects just buried in the mud, and then they pull them out and get them back running again. When investigating this, you can assume they come from the stars or other lands, but we have enough evidence to support the claims that they exist. So why don't they make official contact? Number one, the government suppresses the knowledge and existence of these crafts and beings. This could be because of if they land. I was joking the other night that these aliens land and talk to some farmer. And the farmer, where do you come from? And the alien points into the distance. And the farmer says, oh, you might come from that far star, this Perseon B star. And the alien's just sitting there like, no, I just come from over there, about 4,000 miles in that direction. So it's a deception that they don't want to tell you too much, and they want people to figure it out, because once you figure out that they don't come from galaxies so far away, they only come from land that's 1,000 miles east or whatever, people then feel stupid, like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. And if they landed, they could disprove many of the things told to us by government, and all science would be disproven, and all of their bullshit from NASA, and all of this would be disproven, forcing people to go back to what they had before science, which was the biblical text and the guidance from the Creator, God, and Jesus Christ. And they do not want that because they are the satanic, elite, Zionist occupied Satanist people. Okay, the government is also being ran by these beings or creatures who are these ETs or these people that worship the other end of the coin of the creator. They are the satanic elites, and they want you to follow their science, not creation. They want you to believe in outer space and all their theories of Big Bang and how it has nothing to do with God, or God creating man. It's all evolution and science. And that's why they control these narratives and they put these stories out of aliens and extraterrestrials to explain anything that they can't explain. And it always will get the title of these aliens. But we also know that aliens are a lie in. It's a lie. It's a fabrication. There are no aliens, but there are extraterrestrials. And that is a different thing altogether. And number four, it's a dark truth that would reframe the fabric of our reality and rewrite all known history. If these aliens would land, or these, creatures, and they get out and tell you it's outer space, and that's part of the Project Bluebeam deception. But if they landed and got out and told you they come from other lands, and there was this great reset and a mud flood, and there used to be a civilization that they were all connected to called Tartaria, ran by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, Jesus Christ, and that's how they achieved all this. There would be a massive revolution and a massive changing of all things within our reality. And that's the most likely reason that they're hiding these things. Okay, this is the end of part one on UFOs. I will be making a part two about other crafts and things that are going on, and possibly a part three maybe about different types of ETs and creatures. We'll see if we're going to get into the types of beings and evidence we have. But I got lots of information to share, much more information. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see the part two, please drop a like, follow, subscribe. Leave any questions or comments in the box below. It helps to know that people are watching this by dropping a like. Um, you can find me on Mud Fossil Research and Truth, Mud Fossil Truth and Research. You can find me on Twitter in the box below at mudfossil_guy and at mudfossil_truth are a couple of my Twitter handles. They're shadow banned and suppressed, so you might have to look a few times for them to pull up the accounts, but I'm on there. I post daily, often. I'm on Rumble and BitChute at Modern American Gangster, and you can also find me on YouTube at Mudfossil Research and Truth. You can get my book, The Great Awakening, on Lulu.com. Lots of information and research has been put into this book, years and years of study and research to form a cohesive version of reality and what might be going on with our timeline and all these conspiracy theories that have been taking place. It's The Great Awakening Unit 1, Timeline of Historical Events. You can get that in paperback. You can get the Unit 2, which is the Great Awakening Unit 2, Continued Points of Study. You can get Unit 1 and Unit 2 in an ebook or a digital download, and you can view it on your phone or your tablet or however you want to view that. Or you can get Unit 1 and Unit 2 together in one large paperback version, which is really the best way I would say to get this content. It's a great conversation starter. It provides many alternate theories to the world we live in, and it all makes a lot more sense than what they have told us. So grab yourself a copy on lulu.com. I'm on Gab and Truth Social at Modern American Gangster. You can try to find me over there. I try to post these links and post stuff on there, but it just seems like most of these other alternative platforms are kind of dead. If you want to share memes and pro Trump stuff or anti these platforms are good. Gab is more better for talking about Jews if that's what you're into, and Truth is better for pro Trump content. So I don't spend a lot of time on those platforms. You can hear my music on Spotify and Apple Music under Modern American Gangster. All my stuff's up there. Amazon Music at Modern American Gangster. All my songs. Listen to a couple songs. Check it out. It's really different than your normal kind of music that has to be endorsed by Puff Daddy or one of these people who are going to make you do sexual favors in order to get famous. We're not doing any of that. We're doing it from the grassroots and the ground up. You can find me on YouTube at Modern American Gangster. Check out my music topic page over there on YouTube Music, and you can find me on n1m.com/Modern American Gangster. I just hit over 60,000 plays over there, so check it out over there. I usually put the audio versions of these talks or these lectures or these videos over on that platform, so you can hit play when you're doing your work and it'll just play through the audio of these videos. If you would like to donate, please hit me up on PayPal at mudfossil124875. Many The donations are very much accepted and needed. I use these donations for advertising on Instagram and other platforms to get this content out. Thank you, everyone who sent in a little donation. It does help, and a couple bucks adds up. When a couple people add a couple bucks, it can get me another week or two of trying to get this content out, trying to get these videos out, trying to get more people to see this, try to get more people to read the book, to change their ideas and perception, and that's how we slowly change the world or reality that we live in. Please like, subscribe, follow, leave any questions or comments, drop a like. That really helps me know that you're watching it, you enjoy this kind of content. Thank everyone for watching. I'm going to be cutting down videos to probably once a week, and I'm thinking Wednesday will be the day I put out new videos and new content. So check my stuff on Wednesday, and I will fill you in to what's coming next. Thank everybody. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. This is the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.